All right, guys, what's going on? Today is Thursday, and that means that we have a date. It's gonna be a romantic date, guys. I should admit. I missed you for the whole week. You were really active last Thursday. A lot of things was going on. We had a lot of fun. So today is another day, and we are back in business. Today we're going to be talking about the US visa interviews. And I'm going to address this issue in a couple of ways because there are different types of interviews that are possible to conduct when you are coming to the US or while you are in the US. Okay, so we're going to be discussing three types of interview: adjustment of status when you're in the US and you're getting your green card, the immigrant visa through the embassy, number two, and also non-immigrant visa in the embassy. Okay, so those are three different type of interview, and for each one of them we need to prepare differently and separately. Okay, so that's what we're going to be discussing. Guys, this week is very productive with approvals. Just today we got three approvals. Today we got three approvals. I mean, I kind of got tired calling the clients and congratulating them, and all of them just for today are the green cards. Okay, so we got the hat trick today. Okay. One of them is the businessman from Uzbekistan, okay, EB1A, extraordinary businessman. One of them is a businesswoman from Russia. And the third one is a health coach and women's health expert from Russia. Okay, so all three green cards, EB1As, they all gonna be having interviews in the embassies. Okay, so we're gonna touch on that. And let me see. Let me tell you what else we got going today. Regarding the approvals. Okay, another approval for IT specialist from Dominican Republic. We got him O1A. Okay, so nothing really I can add to this. You know, O1 visas are pretty easy for us to get. We have 99% approval rate for this type of visa. We also got EB1A for a talented marketing person from Russia. Congratulations to him. Also, we got EB2 NIW approved for Sergey. He's also from Russia, and his proposed endeavor was the smart houses. Okay, automation of buildings, of warehouses, of residents, and things like that. Okay, so we got him approved on that. We also got another EB2 NIW approved for our client from Belarus. He's a satellite engineer. Okay, so his endeavor is working in a satellite industry, which is really, really good. Guys, I'm telling you, this week was hot. This week was very hot on approvals. So you see only one O1 and like 6 green cards. Okay, so which is a great result. Congratulations to our clients. So we're gonna discuss the interviews today, guys, and I'm gonna go pretty deep. As to explaining to you what needs to happen at the interview, what you need to look at, how you need to prepare, and also what you should be afraid of. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the fears as well. All right. So let's take a look. We have one question from Mike. For O1 or EB1A, you have the scientific publication criterion. Yes, absolutely. I know PR agencies help us in this, but we do not have citations. Will that qualify without citations as a criteria? Well, first of all, citations is also not a problem, you know, because if it's a good publication and it's pushed to be published, and then you know, you can make additional steps to make the scientific world know about this, and they may use your publication to cite. With this being said, Mike, with this being said, citations is not a part of this criterion. Okay? It is not a part of this criterion. Citations are, of course, it helps if they have them because it shows the level of expertise and the level of importance of those works, okay, of those articles. But let me tell you, I rarely see a lot of citations in the publications. Only when we deal with scientists, okay, like pure scientists, when they research, they work on some theories and stuff like this. Yes. That's when we may have a lot of citations. Otherwise, they're non-existent. Okay, and especially if those are fresh publications. So do not worry, Mike. That's not going to be an issue. Fahaj, congrats on the approvals. Thank you, Fahaj. Wanted to know timelines when you get I-140 approved on current. For EB1A AOS, how soon a person gets a green card in hand. So let me rephrase this question. So Fahaj is asking, in case we get EB1A approved and a person is in the US and we need to do adjustment of status for that person, how long it's gonna take from the time of filing I-485 petition adjustment of status after the approval of I-140 for that person to get the green card in his hand? Okay, so that's the question. And let me tell you, Fahaj, that's definitely not the mathematical question, and I mean it from the perspective that there is no certain information when it's going to happen. But if I take collectively all the cases for EB1A that we got approved for the past year and give you the average, that would be anywhere from 1 month to 12 months. Okay? And the median for this process is about 6 to 9 months. Okay, that's the median when the majority of the people get the green cards. But let me tell you, we had a couple of cases, we got the green cards within a month. The green card came even before the work permit and advance parole. So no one knows. It's complete chaos. Okay, and those cases. So we filed 2 adjustment of status at the same time for 2 EB1As, and I believe it was about 6 months ago. So that one person got green card within a month. The second person, so same timing, same underlying visa, same immigration center, still didn't get the green card. So yeah, a lot of things can happen. Also, I wanted to ask the 90-day rule. If I come on B1, B2, does this also apply for change of status, COS? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Fahaj. 90-day presumption of immigrant intent applies to any change of status and adjustment of status. Okay, so very important, guys. You cannot come to the US with intent to change or adjust your status. Okay, you have to come with non-immigrant intent related to your visa status. Okay, so if it's B1, B2, you should come as a tourist with the plans to travel, to enjoy the weather, go shopping, maybe go to the conference, maybe look for business opportunities, seeing your friends, family, and things like that. Yes, your intent may change after you enter the US. Okay? So if you're crossing the border with B1, B2, make sure that your phone, your computer, whatever devices you have on you, the tablets, laptops, if they get searched by the CBP officer, there is nothing there indicating that you have a different intent than your B1, B2 visa. For example, discussing the plans to change your status or adjust your status with your friends in a WhatsApp Messenger, okay? Or discussing how you're gonna work, how you're gonna drive the truck in the US. You know what I'm saying, guys, right? You know what I'm saying. Or God forbid, if you're a woman, discussing some options with whatever, those options could be, with some adult entertainment industry. Those are automatic deportations, okay? If something like that is found on your phone, in your messengers, in your notes, in your email, and they can search anything. They can look at your photos. They can look at your videos. They're gonna bring the translator. Okay? So very important, guys. If you're crossing the border with non-immigrant visa, make sure that all your electronic devices and your communication is in compliance with this idea. Okay. So yeah, Fahaj, you cannot change your status to E2 within the next week. If you had to file the immigrant petition, nothing stops you to file the EB1A petition, I-140, the next day after you came on your B1, B2. The 90-day rule applies only to the adjustment of status or the change of status. And because E2, the application for E2 in itself serves as a change of status, you need to put the check the box thing in the petition. Those two things are one, right? E2 approval and E2 status. So only after 90 days. Mike, you're welcome. Follow-up questions. Okay, guys, let's go through your questions first, and then I'm gonna go. I promise I'm gonna cover today's topic in depth. Okay, it's very, very important. Mike, I'm a steel industry businessman, non-STEM. Should I go for a scientific publication? Will it make sense? I'm just a BS, bachelor's of science, did 15 years back, so all of a sudden as a businessman, if I have publication. Mike, I don't see no problem here. I see zero problems here, okay? Why? Because, look, there's time for everything, okay? So you accumulated all this experience, you accumulated all the materials, and now you want to share it with the world, okay? So there is nothing in the law about the timing of those achievements. Will it look plausible? And as a businessman, I think I should fight for media leadership, and also cannot judge hackathon because I'm not technical. Mike, there's a lot of things going on. I'm not sure, because it sounds like you already went through the complex immigration planning with me, and let me know if it's true, because even if I knew you did that, I couldn't disclose it, right? Because it's confidential. So, or at least you went through the free evaluation of your case, right? And by the way, guys, the free evaluation case is something you want to begin your journey with. So I'm dropping you the links to EB101 and EB2 NIW to get your free evaluation. So please do that. It's free, and you're gonna know if your case has potential. So Mike, there's okay. So Mike says I haven't, but I have been following you. I will fill the evaluation and start to. Yeah, definitely. It's Mike. Trust me. Most if not all of your questions are going to be answered on the free evaluation and then on complex immigration planning, because I need to go deep in your achievement and what's going on to see what exactly needs to be done, right? Maybe we don't need hackathons. Maybe we need some business competitions. Maybe we need some conferences, okay? So trust me, I don't work by template. I never do. Each case is completely separate creation based on my experience and current trends. Okay, so that's why each strategy is absolutely unique. Okay, all right, guys. So keep dropping the questions, but let's cover the very important topic of U.S. visa interview. So let's start with a lot of questions about adjustment of status, right? So the change, first, what's the difference between change of status and adjustment of status? Okay, because it sounds kind of the same, right? We're changing something to something, all right? So COS, change of status, means that you are in the US and you are changing your non-immigrant status to another non-immigrant status. Okay? For example, you are on B1, B2, tourist visa, and you change it to E2 or maybe O1. Okay? So this procedure is called change of status. We're changing one non-immigrant status to another non-immigrant status. If that's the case, you will not have an interview. Never ever in my almost 10-year career working for my company, for my corporation, I got a client with a change of status going to the interview. Never happened. And I don't think will ever happen. Okay? This is done through the paperwork. Now, adjustment of status is a little bit different. First of all, adjustment of status is the change of your non-immigrant status to your immigrant status. Okay? That's the difference between change of status and adjustment of status. So when we do the adjustment of status, we change our non-immigrant status to the green card, basically. Okay, we're requesting the green card while we are in the US without the need of going to the US embassy. Okay? Before the COVID, so before 2020, almost every case with the adjustment of status would go for the interview, with rare exceptions, almost non-existent. Almost everybody went to the interview. During the COVID and after that, the overwhelming majority of the cases with adjustment of status do not go to the interview. If you had to ask me and put me in the corner, Stanislav, what's the percentage of cases are going to the interview with adjustment of status? I would say 2%. Okay, 2%. And for the past 100 cases I filed with adjustment of status, I got 2 interviews. Okay, 2 interviews, approximately for a year. I don't take all, but for the past year. Okay. Interview number 1 was the same-sex couple. Okay, so it was a male with a male, a husband and a wife, and I don't know, maybe husband. I don't go in this thing. Okay, so same-sex marriage, and I believe that same-sex marriages kind of automatically gets the interview. Why? Because those type of marriages are prone to be fraudulent. Okay? So proportionally, same-sex marriage for the purpose of getting green card have more fraud in those cases. Okay? So the US government kind of automatically scheduled the same-sex couples for adjustment of status for the interview just to see if it's a real marriage. So it's kind of, if you guys are married to the US citizen, you will definitely get the first interview, okay? To see if it's a good faith marriage. So that's first type of cases. Second type of cases, kind of everything else, okay? If there is suspicion for any other type of fraud, if there is some inconsistency in the petition, or if there is some information they want to know from the first hand. And this is the second interview that I got. And guys, this one happened last week, last Wednesday. What a mess. What a mess. That was a disaster. Why? Because usually the US government has to notify a person and his attorney about the upcoming interview in advance. In this case, they called me. Well, they called my office. I didn't pick up the phone, but I was in the office while my secretary picked up the phone and she said, oh my God, they're calling from USCIS regarding so-and-so, and they want to schedule the interview for tomorrow. And guys, let me tell you, they didn't say it would be an interview. They said, we want them to come in the office for some clarifications. So if you guys ever hear USCIS tell you, they just want 15 minutes of your time for clarification and no documents even needed to come to this procedure, prepare for the worst. Okay? Prepare for the worst out of the worst. Okay? Because that's how the worst happens. They call you and they tell you, just come in. 5 minutes, max 15, no documents needed, just come, we just want to talk to you. Okay, the worst thing is going to happen, or may happen, okay? And that's what happened with these guys. They came, we called them, like, oh my God, you guys have an interview tomorrow, okay? And guys, I don't go to adjustment of status interviews. It's not a part of our contract. It's very hard to pull me out of my office, okay? If we knew in advance, we would... I would give my clients another attorney who goes to those interviews and everything would be fine. But this time around, they had to go by themselves. OMG! The 5 minutes easy talk turned in a 3-hour interrogation. You guys watch those movies with the spies and stuff, right? When they put like a big lamp in your face and start grilling you. Jesus Christ. And you know, when you're not prepared inside for this type of thing, this is very stressful. Very stressful. So they went there, they grilled them for 3 hours on non-relevant things. And that's why, guys, it's always important to have an attorney for those things. And again, this particular case, it's, you know, it just, the stars lined up that way that they couldn't have an attorney for this meeting, for this interview. So the officer, he was crossing all type of boundaries, okay? And let me tell you, if you happen ever to go to 485 interview adjustment of status in the US, they cannot ask you a question about your underlying petition. That was adjudicated long time ago. They have the interview for 485 adjustment of status. And these are the questions they may ask you. No other questions. So it's important to have the attorney there to tell the immigration officer you are crossing the boundaries. Okay, so in this case, Ultimately, they got the approval for the green cards, but the stress that they had at this interview, unbelievable, unbelievable. So, what do you need to have when you go to adjustment of status interview? First of all, I bring the case with you, and I know I just said that they cannot ask you anything about this, but bring it. Okay, bring. Yes, it's gonna be a big case. No worries, okay? Just have it with you so they could see you have a lot of paperwork, okay? It's like almost that shield, the protection, you know, you hold to protect yourself from the attacks. And of course, prepare for all kinds of questions about your spouse, about your work, your past experiences, your future plans, and things like that. That's very important. And of course, I have special people in my company, trained team members that will prepare you for this interview. Okay? And we would have done that with these clients had we had the chance to do this, but we did not. Okay? So adjustment status interview is very rare, guys. Very, very rare. But usually when they happen, they're very tough. They're very stressful. But it's okay. I never had a client in my career who would fail the interview for adjustment of status. Never ever. Okay, every guy got approved. Now, let's switch the gears and go to the US Embassy. There are two types of interviews in the US embassies, and they're completely different. Number one, non-immigrant visas. And number two, the immigrant visas that give you the green card. Let's start with the most hardcore interviews you may ever have in your life. Non-immigrant visas, especially those that are not dual intent. Which visas are dual intent? L1, H1B. Those are much better. Those are much easier to go by. Everything else, O1, E2, F1, P1, B1, B2, E1, J1, M1, whatever. All the rest. Let's make it simple. All the rest. You have to prove with clear and convincing evidence to the immigration officer in the embassy that you do not have immigrant intent, that you do have the attachment to your home country with the evidence. With the evidence. Now, you guys all heard the cases where a person had no job, no education, no family, young, no nothing, going to the embassy and getting their tourist visa, for example. And you all heard the stories when the person had jobs, properties, family, education, older age, and a lot of travel history, and they got the denial. So you want to ask me, Stanislav, what the hell is going on? And you will be right. You will be right. You totally will be right to phrase the question like this. Because I'm telling you that we need to prove that we do not have immigrant intent and attachment to the home country with the evidence, but apparently sometimes it's not enough. So the question is, what else do we need to bring to the table? And I have the answer to this, guys. And this is one word. This is one word. Try to guess, guys. Try to guess what else, besides everything that I listed, we need to bring to the table. What quality, what your character quality you want to bring to the table in the conversation? Any guesses? Okay, no guesses. And guys, there is no wrong question. There's no wrong answer. Okay, there is no wrong answers here. Pretty much, I would think all answers would be correct, but some more than others. So okay, I'm not gonna torture you. That one word is credibility. Credibility. Confidence, normal, definitely. So confidence, absolutely. You can honesty, absolutely right. Tina Tim, normal. You guys absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Credibility, confidence, honesty, it's the same concept. It's the same concept. So, with this being said, you have approximately anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes of your interview with immigration officer to build that confidence, honesty, and credibility. And you have only one shot, okay? You have only one shot. So, and I'll explain how to do this. Give me a few minutes. I'll explain how to do this. But let's first go into psychology of this, okay? Those two examples that I told you, with one person who had nothing got approval and the other person having everything they want and got a denial, that's because of credibility. So the immigration officer believed the first person and did not believe the second. Okay? So, in my humble opinion, a good mix between credibility and evidence of attachment to your home country is the best mixture, is the best outcome. Okay? Now, what's the secret? What's that magic pill you guys need to take to build that credibility within the first couple of minutes? Let's put it this way, first couple of minutes. And my team trains you on that when you guys get approval with us. I have the whole department in my company working with you just on those issues. Everything related to the embassy, adjustment of status, interview preparation, questions, paperwork, rehearsal, everything. We even rehearse the interviews, guys. No one's doing this. Okay? So, what's that secret? Regardless, and again, let me give you the context. It could be B1, B2, it could be O1, E2, and even those L1, H1B. Regardless of the non-immigrant visa that you guys getting and you go into the interview, regardless of the first question that the officer is asking you, what is your name? What type of visa? Where are you going? What are you gonna do? What type of talent you have? What's your education? Who's your mother? It does not matter what's the first question. Your answer should be the same. Your answer should be the same. And your answer should be the total pitch of who you are, where you're going, on what visa, and what exactly you're going to be doing. Okay? Regardless of what the question was. Okay? So Nirmal is coming to the embassy to get his O1 visa because he got approval with the USCIS. So he goes to the immigration officer, he gives his paperwork in this little window in the embassy. The officer takes it, starts looking at it, and then he says, okay, so what type of visa, Nirmal, you are going to get? So that's the time to shine. That's the time to shine. Nirmal is gonna say, hi, officer so-and-so. They're gonna be a name. Hi, Officer Johns. My name is Nirmal. I'm going to the US on my O1 visa. My employer is XYZ LLC, the company in the US in Chicago, who is in the business of CRM systems. I'm the specialist in CRM systems, and I'm gonna bring my knowledge and the change the process of the company so they can sell the product to the clients. Who are the clients? The people, the small businesses who usually deal with tracking businesses. Okay, and guys, I'm making this up. Okay, I'm making all this up. All right. So Nirmal is gonna go up until two things happen. Okay, up until two things happen. Number one, the officer stops him and say, okay, Nirmal, time out, stop. Okay, good. Let me ask you next question. Totally fine, no problem. Or second, Nirmal finished. All right? So guys, two things. Either you stopped by the officer or you finished what you wanted to say. And your pitch should be approximately the most important information the first 20-30 seconds, all additional the next 2-3 minutes. So you need to practice it. Okay? You need to practice it. And you should go slow with pauses, no rush, saying the words as much as you can perfectly. Okay? So your idea, your task is not to say what you want, but to get the officer to understand what you want him to understand. And that could be achieved only with slow pace, pauses, and low voice. Okay? So you guys need to practice your pitch with slow pace, pauses, and low voice. Why? So the officer starts tripping on what you say, okay? He starts, or she goes like this, Nirmal, keep going, okay? Keep going. And of course, there could be different situations, guys. Everything could happen. And they could be rude to you. They could stop you right away. Or they could let you keep going. Anything could and everything in between. Okay? So, but your task with that presence, with that confidence, with total understanding of what exactly you're doing, why you're doing this, total knowledge of your case, if it's O1, L1, if it's work visa, non-immigrant work visa, or if it's a tourist visa, total understanding where you're going, what you're gonna do, how long you're gonna stay, where you're gonna stay. Are you gonna rent a car? Are you gonna rent an Airbnb? Are you gonna rent a hotel? Are you gonna stay with your friends? Is your family aware you're going? Who is going with you? All this you need to say, or as much of that you're gonna say. Okay? So that's how you're gonna build that rapport, that credibility between you and immigration officer. Okay? Now, you guys wanna ask, Stanislav, how do you know all that? How do you know all that? I know it from two sources, guys. Two sources. First, thousands of my clients who went through this process. That's the most credible source, right? First-hand source. And second, I know the officers. Okay, let's go back. I know the people who used to be ex-immigration officers in the embassy. How much first-hand knowledge can you guys get? Right? Then talking to the people who actually conduct the interviews. Okay? And that's exactly what they say. The decision on your non-immigrant visa is made within the first 30 seconds up to 3 minutes of the conversation. That's why many times you hear things like, he just asked me one question and that's it. Then he looked for some papers and he denied my case. Why? That's why. Okay, what is your name and what's your purpose of going to the US? Hi officer, my name is Alex and I'm going to the US for 2 weeks to visit Disney World. Denied. Hello, please state your name and the type of visa that you're going to the US for. Officer, hi, how you doing? I'm John, and I'm going to O1 visa, O1A talent visa because I'm a talented IT person. Denied, guys. That's the reason. Okay, so don't be that John. Don't be that guy who's gonna stumble each word, and I know it's stress. But you know, you have to be ready for it. You can't be shaking. You can't be like this, okay? You have to be confident. And inside, you do whatever. You may be shaking and falling and fainting and passing out. But make sure your face doesn't reflect that, okay? Your body language does not reflect that, okay? And that could be achieved only through preparation. Nothing else. Only preparation for the worst questions, okay? And usually, as my practice proves, the more you prepared for the worst, the better your interview goes, okay? Trust me on this, guys. Trust me on this. Bring all your cases. Bring all your paperwork. Bring all the proof of your attachment to your home country, the ownership papers of the property, the letters from the employers, the letter from your US employer. Know your case by heart. By heart, okay? Only when you have it and you know it, and that's when you build that confidence that you're streaming in the face of immigration officer. That's how the officer builds that rapport with you and starts believing your case regardless of what's going on with your case. Okay, regardless with that. So be open, be outcoming, be friendly, smile, be yourself. Okay, that's the best you can do. And of course, it does not guarantee that you will get your visa issued. But let me tell you, it's gonna bring your chances up to the sky. Especially if it's a work visa. With tourist visa is a little bit different. And again, I'm not a specialist in tourist visas. Last but not least, the immigrant interview in the embassy, the third type. So we discussed change of status and adjustment of status, which is one. I consider it as one. We discussed the non-immigrant interview in the embassy. Now, the last thing is the immigrant interview in the embassy. Okay? And then, guys, after that, I'm gonna look for your questions and we're gonna finish. Okay? Those of you who did not get the free evaluation yet, do it now. I dropped you the links for O1 EB1A, it's one link, and EB2 and AW National Interest Waiver. So make sure you do those things today. Don't postpone it. So last but not least, the immigrant interview. So guys, let me tell you, I've been practicing for almost 10 years. Okay? So I consider myself seasoned and experienced attorney. Okay? And I have hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds approvals for immigrant visas. EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, EB5. None of those clients that worked with my team and myself who went to the embassy for the interview ever got denial for their green card. Okay? And I don't think that we ever will, at least at this point. Okay? And if it happens, it's going to be an extraordinary case. Okay? Why? Because that's the way we prepare you guys for the interview. Okay? I think that's the most important thing to know. But they also have less ways to deny you. So basically, it all comes down to two things. Are you a spy or terrorist? Or you're either you a spy, a terrorist, or a criminal, or you're a person with low moral compass, with low moral character. Okay? Which usually shows through criminal or some other acts. Okay? So it's kind of all interconnected. In rare cases, your health conditions could be the reason to be denied for the green card, right? If you have some kind of, what's that word? Not contingent, God. The diseases that pass on to other people, right? You guys tell me what the word I'm looking for. So those type of cases, and look, with the modern medicine, we don't have this kind of stuff anymore, okay? With maybe some rare exceptions. So these are the only reasons. So if you guys, again, confident and going to those interviews, knowing your case and ready for whatever, and you're not criminal, you're not terrorist, not spy or anything like that, you're gonna be good. Okay, you're gonna be good. Yes, it could be a little bit stressful, and they can grill you a little bit. They can put you on administrative hold. I had one client. He was on administrative hold for almost a year and a half. Why? Because he was not clear with some criminal charges that were filed against him in Portugal. And those were contagious. Normal, thank you. Contagious, yes. That's the word I was looking for. And those criminal charges were fake, were not, they were by mistake. Let's put it this way. Actually, let me guys tell you what happened with this guy. It's kind of fun. We got him EB1A as an extraordinary hypnotherapist, right? So he was using what's that word? Hypnosis, I think it's the word, to treat people, right? He's a doctor. So really well known in Russia and post-Soviet republics, right? So he went to Portugal because the war started and all this craziness between Russia and Ukraine. And he brought $10,000 to the bank with him. He recorded through the airport, everything is good. He came to the bank. He gave that money to the bank just to keep it there. And they called the police, like claiming that he's doing money laundering. And he had all the papers. So they put the criminal charges to him. And he's like, are you guys crazy? Like, are you crazy? Anybody here in Portugal, from Portugal, guys? Let me know if the banks are crazy there. Because it seems like that, right? So it took him almost a year to clear those things. And I guess in Portugal, they just don't work very, very fast either, okay? So so criminal background is something that's really important, right? So if you guys don't have any criminal charges, and even criminal charges by themselves can't really stop them from issuance of the visa, but they can. They can put you on administrative hold. So, but even with some convictions, criminal convictions, it's possible to get the green card. Okay, we're not gonna talk about this today because that's too much. But as long as it's not a violent crime or a crime of moral turpitude, right? Moral turpitude. And many of you may not know what that exactly means, and that means that it's better explained by examples like fraud, right? When you deceived someone, you stole the money, and there was a civil charges filed, right? So something where you don't have those morals, right? When you lie to someone, like if you lied under the oath, okay? So moral turpitude. So those and felonies, like serious criminal charges with violence is involved. So those ones are gonna ban you for whatever. It's almost impossible. It's possible, but very hard to deal with it. All right, guys. So let me see what's going on with the questions. Basra Mobile, hello. Let's say I get an E2 and a W approved this year, but wait time for 485 is 2 years, approximately a year and a half. My eldest child will then be 22 years old. He is 20 now. Question is, if 140 is approved while he is 20, are we safe then? We are saved in many cases, Basra, if we, after approval, made some kind of move towards the NVC. Okay, so if you are in the US at that time and you cannot adjust, but you can still push your case to be scheduled for the interview in your home country. Okay, and then we can change that in case if you're in the US and you decided to do adjustment of status. So as long as we started that process of through the embassy, you should be good. You should be good. And Dexpel says a carry of hereditary disease. Dexpel, I'm an attorney. I'm not a doctor, so don't put those words. Don't throw those words at me. There's a list of those diseases. You guys can look it up. You can just type in Google like disqualification for immigrant visa US, and they're gonna tell you. I think like syphilis is one of them, right? But it's being cured, so I don't know. Nirmal got to go. Thank you, Stan, for doing this with all the info. Yes, Nirmal, thank you for being here. Thank you for your questions. I really appreciate that. Guys, your feedback is always makes me happy. RT and family, you didn't say how to pass an EB. What is it? One interview. Could you summarize, please? I kind of did, RT. Maybe okay. Let's me. If it's embassy related, they mostly gonna be concerned about your background rather than your underlying case. But you're right. They could go into your case. So you need to know your case by heart. Basically, if they ask you, okay, how did the journalist from Forbes contact you to conduct the interview? And you should know answer to this question, okay? If you work with my company, we of course will be preparing you for this. So, and if they say, okay, what's the significance of your contribution in the field? Can you please explain who is using it, how you monetize this? You need to be prepared for that. R&T, what's your short-term goals to benefit the US with your presence? And you need to answer to this, okay? And things like that. Roshan, MBA is the best in USA. I think so, Roshan. Probably MBA is the best. All right, guys. Those of you who did not get free evaluation yet, get it through the free evaluation links in the chat. Those of you who had, and I told you you have a potential, come to the complex immigration planning so I could build the written winning strategy for you. And those of you who got the strategy, you start your case with the full case filing, complete case filing service, okay, to get your chances over 90%. RT, should I remember the dates of publications? I would say yes, approximate days. And also, I got a few clients, guys, who were asked about the name of the journalist. Okay? And Anishra says, I will do. Yes, Anishra, please do. Okay? That's in your best interest. So, RT, they were asking about the names of the journalists. And my guy said, I don't remember. It was 2 years ago. I don't remember, right? So yeah, they could potentially ask you anything, but you know, some of those questions, they're just stupid. You know, like with the name of journalists. Look, that's too much. That's too much. You know, I want to ask that immigration officer, do you remember the name of the prior guy to my guy? Okay, and I give you 99% he cannot remember. Okay, and that happened 15 minutes ago. So he's asking you about, and of course you don't want to, guys, you don't want to do anything to make them angry or mad, okay? But inside you want to ask him, right? Tell me the name of the other guy before me, and he won't be able to tell you, right? So that's kind of hinting like this is a stupid question. Okay, but you gotta take, guys. You know, Stanislav is a educated and polite person. I would never, you know, say something rude, or at least I would not do that intentionally. But there is a good phrase in English that you guys gotta do at the interview when they aggressive and they come at you. You guys gotta take that D. Okay, you gotta take that D, if you know what I mean. Okay, and let me guys know if you know what it means. Okay, and if you don't, Google it. Okay, you gotta take that D. All right, so guys, good stuff. Go to the free evaluation, get the complex immigration planning done, get your strategy, start the case, 6 months, approval, embassy, green card, whatever that is. We're gonna guide you from day one till the day you got your green card or work visa. Everybody have a good weekend, have a good end of the week, and remember, your future begins here. Good luck.